I just created a YouTube channel that runs completely on autopilot. No camera, no microphone, no actors, no video editor. Just AI. OpenAI's new Sora 2 model doesn't just generate video. It also generates audio, like voice and sound effects. And when you connect it to N8N, you can automate the entire pipeline, from idea to uploaded video. So in this video, I'll take you through the process I used to build this automated YouTube system, using the brand new Sora 2 model and N8N. But first, let's have a look at this workflow in action. This workflow will use an LLM to generate a unique script for the video. Then we call OpenAI to start the generation process. And because these videos can take a long time to generate, we'll add a little loop to check the generation progress. After the generation completes, we'll download the video and then we'll upload it to YouTube. And after a minute, we can see the new video in our feed.
People sometimes say river stones get smooth because currents polish them clockwise, like the way a sink drains. It's a neat idea, but not quite right.
And we now have a video that contains actors, voiceovers, sound effects, music, you name it. Now, before we start building this workflow, I do want to put a few things out there. Firstly, as a content creator myself, I have a lot of respect for the effort that goes into creating videos. And I personally do not condone the act of putting AI slop out into the universe. This channel was created purely for educational purposes. And if you are planning on following along or creating a similar channel, then I highly recommend putting some disclaimer in your video mentioning that this video was built using AI. Also, this channel was not meant to deceive anyone, as all these videos are pretty much nonsense. Hence the channel 0 cents. All the facts mentioned in these videos are 100% wrong. The narrators and presenters sound 100% convinced of the facts that they're presenting, but of course if you listen to it carefully, these facts make absolutely no sense. Now, of course, that's the theme of the channel that I'll be building, and you can do your very own thing. All I'm saying is be respectful of content creation and try not to make the world a worse place by putting AI slop out there. Then the next thing I want to mention is that Sora 2 is not cheap, at least at the time of recording. For the standard Sora 2 model, the current pricing is 10 cents per second. But as with anything in the AI space, this price will most likely go down very soon once competition kicks in. So with all of that out of the way, let's build this workflow. So in order to create an automated YouTube channel, the first thing you need is, well, a YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com and of course sign into your account. Click on your profile icon, click on Switch Accounts, and then click on View All Channels. Now by default, every user on YouTube will have a personal YouTube channel. But let's create one specific for this tutorial. So I'll go to Create a Channel, and we can set a little profile picture if we wanted to. So I'll get ChatGPT to generate the image for me. Let's pretend that this channel is about very fast, fictitious cars that could only exist in a cyberpunk world. So let's actually add cyberpunk to this and send it. While that's generating, let's go back to the channel and let's call this Very Fast Cyberpunk Cars. And I'll probably add AI at the end of it, just to indicate that this is an AI-based channel. Alright, and then I'll just upload this image. Let's click on Done. And cool, we now have our profile picture. Let's create this channel. And cool, we now have a channel, but we don't have any videos. So let's switch over to N8N, and let's build our workflow that will generate the script, the video, and then upload the result to YouTube. All on autopilot. In fact, one thing I forgot to mention is that this workflow actually runs on a scheduled trigger. This means it automatically runs at 4 p.m. every day. So because I want this workflow to run in the background without my involvement, I really didn't want to run it on my own machine. So for something like this, I definitely recommend running N8N in the cloud. Either you can pay for the N8N's cloud service, which if you go to pricing is about 20 euros per month, or if you're paying monthly, is 24 euros per month. This is not cheap, but this cloud service also gives you a lot of additional features that you don't get with the free service. So I do recommend giving them a try by using the link in the description. But in this video, I actually want to show you a cheaper alternative. We can self-host N8N for as little as $5 per month. Simply go to ocenka.com/Leon. You can also find the link in the description. From here, you can one-click install N8N for as little as $5 per month. or you can go for the KMV2 plan for only $6.49 per month, and that is because of the current Black Friday special, so you definitely don't want to miss that. So simply choose your plan, then in your cart you can change your term from 1 month to 12 months to 24 months. It really doesn't matter. What we are interested in though is at the bottom, select N8N. Then you can also get an additional discount by clicking on Have a Coupon Code and enter the word Leon. This will give you an additional 10% off. I mean, this is now $5.84 versus 20 euros. So when you're ready, simply continue to checkout. You might be asked to enter a root password or maybe 1 or 2 other things, but afterwards you'll see a page similar to this. Simply click on Manage App. And look at that, you now have your very own N8N instance. Simply go ahead and complete this form and press Next. Then I'm simply going to close this pop-up. And if you see the screen, definitely enter your email address and click on Send me a free license key. You can then simply copy the key from your email and then in your settings, click on Enter Activation Key, paste in that key and press Activate. You now have your very own N8N instance set up on a very powerful server. Alright, let's go ahead and create this workflow. So in the top right corner, click on Create Workflow. Let's call this Very Fast Cars YouTube. Then for the trigger, I'll simply add Trigger Manually. Then the very first thing we want to do is generate our video script. So let's add a node. Let's go to AI and let's select the basic LLM chain. Now we really don't need an agent for this because agents typically mean you want to attach tools to it. This is just a once-off operation where we want the LLM to write a script and return it in a certain format. First, let's add a prompt, and it's a system prompt. Now in the system prompt, we want to tell the LLM what the length of the video will be, the kind of tone we're going for, and anything else. We're going to keep it simple for this tutorial, but if you wanted to see a comprehensive system prompt, so the one I used with 0 cents, I'll leave a link down in the description where you can download this workflow for free. And if you have a look at that system prompt, it provides a role for the LLM, its purpose, all sorts of non-negotiables, which includes things like the length of the video, and we're saying the video should be universal, so no politics, no medical claims, no religion, things like that. And then we also give a whole bunch of examples of what good videos would look like. And very important, we also give the output format. So we'll return things like the video script, the video title, and the video description, which will be used when we upload this video to YouTube. So again, you can download this prompt for free and use it in your own videos. For this one, let's keep it simple. So we could do something like, your role is to write an exciting script for an 8-second YouTube short video. This channel is all about cyberpunk cars and things people get up to in Night City. The focus of the video should really be on the vehicles, whether these are cars, bikes, trucks, etc. It should be very much focused on the vehicle, and then the content around it can be random. So maybe people are doing stunts, maybe they're showing off their driving skills, and maybe just funny moments. Then, very important, this video should only be 8 seconds long. Then for the output format, we want to return a JSON object with a script. So let's just fix that up. So we'll return the script, the title, and the description. Alright, very simple stuff. Of course, for this node to work, we need to assign an LLM. So for this, I'll actually just use chat OpenAI. So I'll create my credential. I'll just generate the new key and add it to N8N. Let's save this. Cool, our connection was successful. Then for the model, let's go with GPT-5 Mini. Cool, let's go ahead and test this. And of course, we just have to set the source of the prompt. And for the user prompt, we'll just say, generate the script. Let's try again. And cool, this contains our script. So we do want to return this as structured output. So I'm just going to enable required specific output format. Then let's add our output parser. Let's go with the structured output parser. Then let's replace this example with this structure. So we've got the script, the title, and the description. I'll just enter something basic. Let's actually expand this. And really the content doesn't matter here. We just want to provide some examples to give the LLM an idea of what the output should look like. Let's actually run this again. Alright, let's have a look at the output. And that's much better. Now we receive the script, the title, and description as separate values. Now the next step is to start the process to generate the video. So let's do that. Let's add another node. And you might be tempted to add the OpenAI node, but unfortunately, at the time of recording, this node does not support video generation. We'll add the HTTP node, which will allow us to call the OpenAI endpoints directly. So first I'm going to rename this node to generate video. Let's change the method from get to post. Then for the URL, let's enter http api.openai.com/v1/videos. Then under authentication, let's create a generic credential type and let's add header auth. Then under this one, let's create a new credential and I'll just rename this one to OpenAI API. Then for the name, enter authorization. Then for the value, we'll do the following. It will start with the word bearer with an uppercase B, followed by your OpenAI API key, so the one we created earlier. So we'll copy all of this and add it to this value field. Alright, let's save this. Let's close this pop-up. Then let's enable send body, and this API expects a few properties. The first one is called prompt, which of course is our script. So I'll just drop it into this field. Cool. Then let's add another parameter, and this one is called model, which is of course Sora 2. Let's add another parameter, and this one is called size. This is where we can give the resolution of the video. So I'll give a vertical resolution of 720 by 1280. Then let's add a final parameter, and this one is called seconds. So this can be 4 seconds, and it also supports 8 seconds. If you provide an invalid value, OpenAI will tell you. So actually, let's try to run it like this. And it's saying 5 is an invalid value. Supported values are 4, 8, and 12. Alright, so maybe for testing's sake, just to keep the cost low, let's change it to 4. And then let's send this. And now we get this video ID along with the status of this generation, which is currently queued. Because these videos take a long time to generate, we have to call a second API to get the current generation status. Let's add another HTTP node, and let's rename this to check status. We'll leave the method on get, and for the URL, let's switch over to expression, and for the value, we'll enter the same URL we used last time with the addition of /, and then we have to add the ID of this video. Like so. Now under authentication, let's click on generic credential type. Let's select header auth and we'll select the auth that we created earlier. This is actually all we have to do for this node. Let's run it and now we can see the status of the video is completed. Now of course it can take about a minute to get to this state. So what we have to do is add another node. Let's add this if condition and what we'll say is if the status is equal to, and we'll just check for completed, then we'll continue to uploading the video. Otherwise, we'll go to that if condition. So if the video status is not completed, then what we'll do is we'll wait a few seconds before checking again. So let's make this 10 seconds, and after 10 seconds, we'll simply check the status again. So this means if we run this if condition by itself, we can see that we are now triggering this true path. So now that our video was generated, what we need to do next is actually download that video. For that, we have to call the HTTP request node again. Let's rename this node to download video. The method is get, and then for the URL, I'm going to switch to expression. Let's open this up, and then we'll use the same URL that we passed into the previous node with the addition of /content. This means that we can now run this step. And of course, under authentication, we have to select generic credential type. Then let's select header auth, and we'll select our credentials. Sorry about that. Let's execute this step. And cool, we can actually now download the video or view it. That was the most insane 4-second clip I've ever seen. Alright, so the final thing we have to do is now actually upload this video to YouTube. So let's click on add. Let's search for YouTube. Then under actions, let's click on upload a video. Of course, we have to set up our credentials. And if you're using N8N's cloud service, I think you can just click on sign in and authenticate your Google account. If you are self-hosting like I am, we have to provide a client ID and secret. Now, I already have a dedicated video going through the process of integrating N8N with YouTube. So if you want to see how this works, simply have a look at that video, which I'll link to in the description of this video. Alright, so after integrating N8N with Google Cloud, we can now sign in with Google. Then I'll select my account. And now we have to select our YouTube channel. So I'll select the one that we created earlier. And done. Our account is now connected. Alright, so for the title, I'm actually going to go back to our LLM chain and grab the title. Then for the region, I'll just select South Africa. For the category, I'll select entertainment. And for the input binary data, we can simply call it data, which is the same name over here. Then I also want to pre-populate the description, which we can also get from the LLM chain, like so. What I'm also going to do is just edit the description slightly to say something like disclaimer. This was generated by AI as part of an automation tutorial. Alright then, so let's actually run this. And apparently the video was uploaded. And when I refresh my channel, I can indeed see this brand new video. So really all that's left now is to run this workflow on a schedule. So the first thing we need to do then is go to settings, change your time zone to your local time zone. I'll just do Johannesburg, South Africa. Then let's add another trigger node. So let's select the on schedule node. And we'll say we want to run this every day. And of course, we can select the time that we want to run this. And let's connect these two. Let's save this flow and let's activate it. And that, my friends, is how you build an automated YouTube channel using N8N and Sora 2. Let me know if you have any questions. If you like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with any new video releases. Then check out my other N8N videos over here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.